Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Nike Mercurial Superfly 4 in the bright crimson and Persian violet colorway, also known as the Intense Heat Pack. Now inside the box, they do include a string bag to go along with the shoes themselves. The string bag is black in color with black strings. You're going to find a red Nike swoosh on one side and your red Nike football branding on the other. Other than that, all you're going to find inside the box, as you guys can see, are the shoes themselves. So we'll get these guys out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at the Intense Heat Superfly 4 from Nike. So in today's video, we are going to be taking a closer look at the colorway itself, comparing it to other Superfly 4 colorways, most notably the Launch Hyper Punch one, which I know a lot of people are comparing this Superfly to. We're also going to be talking tech specs, performance, and of course how these things fit and feel. So if you are interested in learning more about this specific colorway of the Superfly 4, please stick around. If you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, check out the review page on my website. It'll be the very first link down below in the description. Not only on that review page will you find my detailed full written review, you'll also find buy it now links with the best prices online, including exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $275 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below in the description. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at the colorway. Now I will say that the Intense Heat Superfly 4, in my opinion at least, does look a little different in person than it does in the online stock photos. The base color for this shoe is what Nike calls bright crimson, essentially their variation of bright red, and that's definitely what these are. The Flyknit base for this shoe is supposed to be bright crimson, but it definitely comes across as more of a pink color, whereas the Nike skin covering is actually a solid bright crimson red color, which does make this shoe stand out really nicely. They are very bright. Now, just upon holding these shoes in your hands, they definitely look very red, but obviously a lot of people are comparing this colorway to the Launch Superfly color, which was Hyper Punch. We saw this obviously originally debuted in the World Cup, and side by side you can see that the shade of pink in the Hyper Punch here and the shade of red in the bright crimson here actually aren't too far apart from each other. The major difference is that these are more pink, these are more red, and the Nike skin covering on the Hyper Punch colorway, as you guys can see, is translucent. So you get to see some of the detailing from the Flyknit upper, and it also has a little bit of Volt thrown in there as well, whereas this is pretty much just a solid Hyper Punch, a solid bright crimson Flyknit with, of course, the solid Nike skin covering. So you don't get to see the underside of the Flyknit here, at least across the main portion of the upper. So the laces themselves are mostly orange, which is a little bit of an unusual choice. Still looks pretty good though. They have kind of a red fade happening with some red speckles as well. Of course, being a signature of the Intense Heat Pack, it does have that Persian violet Nike swoosh with the black outline. This blue or purple color, whatever you want to call it, definitely looks more blue against the red background than it does purple. But again, it really does depending on the lighting in terms of how you will see the Nike swoosh, which is pretty cool. It kind of has that color change effect. You do have that same blue in the Nike swoosh here on the medial side, ACC branding in black, the little black detailing here at the top of the collar, Mercurial branding in black going down the back of the collar, and then of course your black carbon fiber sole plate does not have the blue tint like you'll find on the CR7 colorways. And the studs themselves have, there's some of the studs are black and some of the studs are that bright crimson red with, of course, the translucent plastic covering. So all in all, pretty good looking shoe. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comment section. Do you love how they look? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, there's a really big reason why the Superfly 4 is so popular. Not only is it one of, if not the most unique shoes on the market, it actually is a fantastic performer overall. Now again, if you guys do want as many details as possible on the overall performance, I would strongly recommend checking out the full written review on my website. It'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video, and I'll also leave annotations on screen to my playtest video for the Superfly 4, as well as my traction test video if you guys want to see these things in action. So go ahead and check that out. What we're going to go over now is kind of the basic necessities in terms of what you should know regarding the tech specs and what this shoe does offer as far as performance is concerned. So the main reason reason why you'd buy a Superfly 4 is for the Flyknit upper and the mid-cut design, mostly the Flyknit upper in my opinion. Now the Flyknit material, it's a knitted upper that is soft and thin and flexible and just really does offer a sock-like sensation when you put these on your feet. Because it's a one-piece knitted upper, there's no overlapping material, so it has a nice seamless fit across your entire foot. It's stretchy in the right places, it's supportive and responsive in the right places, and it just makes for a very positive experience overall that, like I said, is unlike any other shoe on the market other than maybe the Magista Obra, and that's because it is also made from Flyknit and also has that mid-cut design. So if you're looking for a thin barefoot feel on the ball, that's exactly what this shoe is going to provide. The Flyknit material is very thin. You do have reinforcement despite it being very thin in the form of the Brio cables that run from the base of the shoe into the lacing system. So when you pull those laces tight, it pulls on those Brio cables and locks your foot in place on the sole of the shoe. You're also going to find an internal fused-on support cage inside the shoe that I can't actually show you because I can't open it up. But all of that makes for a very, very responsive feel. The Superfly 4, despite it being very flexible in hand, when you put it on your feet and tie the laces tight, your foot is locked in place and it just, like I said, has that one-to-one sensation. The second you react is the second that the shoe reacts. So you get that nice thin touch on the ball, you get the nice responsive sensation. The Nike skin covering allows for a little bit of extra grip, and of course it is finished off with ACC all conditions control, allowing for a little bit better grip on the ball in wet playing conditions, which is definitely what you get with the Superfly 4. As far as wet weather playing conditions go, this is one of the better thin shoe options out there on the market as far as performance is concerned. And as far as your feet getting wet, the Flyknit material is so dense and it has so many layers to it, it really doesn't absorb water at all. So unless you stand in a puddle for several seconds, your feet are going to stay very, very dry in this shoe, more so than they would be in a low-cut model, believe it or not. So of course you do have that dynamic fit collar, the mid-cut design to the Superfly 4. This has no structure to it whatsoever. In fact, the top of the foot as well as the collar itself is actually made from a stretchier, elasticated type of Flyknit material that doesn't restrict movement in any way at all. Essentially, the reason why they incorporated this mid-cut design is one, for the visual distinction that it has to offer, and two, to create that seamless sensation where it feels like the shoe flows from your leg onto your foot as opposed to being something that is just strapped to your foot. And that effect does feel a little bit weird at first, but once you get used to them, it does come across as feeling very, very natural. You do have an internal plastic heel counter there. The inside of the shoe is lined with a smooth synthetic leather material as well. It does take some getting used to as far as a break-in period is concerned, so keep that in mind. Insole is fully removable, mesh liner on top, perforations throughout, a single layer of foam, nothing too fancy, but it does get the job done. And then moving on to the sole plate and stud pattern, you do get the visual distinction of the carbon fiber sole plate signature of the Superfly series. Looks very cool. Doesn't necessarily perform any better than what you're going to find on the Vapor 10. Feels pretty similar to that in my opinion. And of course you do get the new Mercurial stud pattern, which is a little bit less aggressive than what we saw with the Vapor 8 as well as the Vapor 9, but definitely more stable and I think a more well-rounded stud pattern overall. If you're a fan of making quick cuts, quick changes of direction, and you just want as much grip when pushing off in any direction as possible, this stud pattern is definitely going to get the job done for you, as well as, like I said, maintaining really good stability on firm natural grass playing surfaces. So that is pretty much it as far as the basic necessities of what you should know regarding the performance of this shoe. Again, if you guys want more details, check out the full written review on my website. It'll be the very first link down below in the description. And with that being said, let's move on to a quick weigh-in so we can get a better idea as to how light these guys are. As far as weight is concerned, the Superfly 4 is a lightweight shoe, but it certainly isn't anything groundbreaking. So we're going to weigh this pair for you today in real time so we can see exactly what they weigh. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. We're going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 7 ounces exactly, which is the equivalent of 198 grams. They're about as light as you'd want them to be. That's kind of the best way to describe it because of the way the shoe fits and feels on your feet. They're light enough to the point where you can forget that you're wearing shoes altogether. There are lighter options out there, including the Nike Mercurial Vapor 10, which a lot of people consider to be a takedown of the Superfly 4. It's actually a lighter shoe. Same goes for the Veloce 2 below the Vapor 10, but that's a completely different shoe with a completely different type of feel. And again, if you are interested in the Superfly 4, interested in the way it's supposed to fit and feel on your feet, weight shouldn't be too big of a concern. Like I said, they're as light as you would want them to be. All right, so here is a look at the Intense Heat Superfly 4s on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock laces that come with the shoes, and on my right foot, I have a pair of reflective royal blue SR4U replacement laces. If you're you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, check out the website sr4ulaces.com. It'll be linked in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel, the Superfly 4, like I said, doesn't feel like any other shoe on the market other than maybe the Magista Obra, and even that shoe does feel a little bit different than these. They have a tighter fit, they wrap your foot really nicely, pretty much no extra space on the inside of the shoe whatsoever, but it also has a very flexible sock-like sensation. You will notice some stiffness in the heel area of the shoe, especially if you haven't worn these before. That is something that goes away after some break-in time, and break-in time really is key with this shoe. It's not so much that they're uncomfortable at first, but it's just that they feel and fit your feet different than normal soccer shoes would. So it's really more a period of just getting used to them as opposed to actually breaking them in. And as long as you take that slowly, you don't directly go into sprinting, you don't wear them straight into a game, you don't wear them taking a whole entire session of free kicks for 2 hours, you shouldn't have any issues with blistering. Again, take it slow, wear them around your house, take a couple of kind of easy training sessions in them, and you should be good to go as far as comfort and the whole break-in process is concerned. As far as the fit goes, it's a tighter fitting shoe, not necessarily ideal for wider foot types, so please keep that in mind. If you have wide feet, probably not the best option for you. The upper also is not going to stretch. It'll maybe soften up a little bit, but it won't stretch at all. It'll maintain its shape pretty well. So again, if you've fitted Mercurials in the past, you're not going to have any issues with the Superfly 4 either. And as far as sizing goes, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. Alright guys, that's it for my review of the Intense Heat Pack Nike Mercurial Superfly 4. Again, if you guys do want more details on the overall fit, feel, and performance of this shoe, I would strongly recommend checking out the full written review on my website. It's the first link down below in the description of this video. Along with the full written review, you will also find buy it now links on that page, along with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $275 retail price. So if you're interested in a pair for yourself, first link down below in the description, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions at all regarding this shoe, leave them down below in the comment section. I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.